recording on my end now as well. I have Audacity going. I'm gonna use these and edit together the video after the fact. We can actually begin like the official correspondence here in a minute. I have the LP archive and their commentary pulled up. I don't plan to I'm not gonna take them as a authority. I would say this is one of the few times I've actually seen someone attempt to actually put math to it outside of what we're doing. So I was just gonna be like, so here's what they said and here's what we have to say. I'm not citing them as a source because again,
their numbers aren't too far off.
Right.
Like they're in the general ballpark of where what they're looking for.
Yeah, looking at it now,
those waveforms look better. Looking
at it again, I think the whole Chernobyl line was probably just an exaggeration, like just for the sake of joking, because he's purposely trying to overload the server. So I think that they were just doing that as a one-off joke instead of actually saying, yeah, he's in Chernobyl, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I looked up the Chernobyl numbers, and they were in Rankins, which I could convert for you, but that might be a little difficult.
Yeah, that's also nuclear radiation instead of electromagnetic, which both are still bad in extremely high concentration, but the wavelengths are so different. Yeah. It's like I remember my science professor in college. He brought up that gamma radiation specifically has like one of the highest frequencies. So that if you get exposed to like a super, super high amount, it will literally shred your body. So I'm looking at that like, well, I guess the Incredible Hulk is literally impossible then.
Yeah, no, gamma radiation is not super great for you. So there's actually, for shielding, for gamma radiation, it requires a lot different than any other kind of radiation just because it's so penetrating. And I can't remember, I think gamma is the one that requires the 6 feet of concrete. Or more, I think. It's a lot of concrete you need. Instead of, like, metal, let me check.
Because concrete is, like a lot denser than most metals. It's, like, different composition, so it would absorb more of it, I suppose.
Yeah, kind of. What you're not looking for density, because the metals are the more dense.
Oh.
With some forms of radiation, you can't use metals, like beta radiation, actually, because the electrons, they kind of will bounce the electrons of the metals off, and they'll produce Bremsstrahlung radiation if they pass through metals. So when you're shielding for beta radiation, actually what you use is like plastics and lead. Because beta radiation isn't going to get very far into you anyway, so you don't need a lot of it. But you can't use metal because it'll make Bremsstrahlung radiation because the material's too dense.
Right. Okay, let's see here. All right. So before we actually begin this little breakdown here, do you want to assume that the time frame is about roughly 20 minutes from like when he steps in the room to destroying the server when everything shuts down?
Yeah, how long would you say that he's exposed to the maximum dose, the high like 600% power? How long would you say that period is?
We have to take into account that he had to run all of his way through the computer, and then he had to defeat the Super Navi. Then he had to get on a call with Dad. The Gospel multi-bug organism is unleashed, and everything is just climbing through the roof. I would say, if we're watching this, like, the way I kind of imagine this is, because this is, like, the final boss, this is, like, an episode of an anime. Like, if they wanted to do, like, the final battle cliffhanger, the final battle would begin, like, as soon as the episode starts. So, the second he opens the door, that's when the episode starts. And,
right.
I would imagine probably no more than 5 minutes at most.
Okay.
Again, this is just me speculating because it's like, yeah, I played the game a lot, but there's like no real time frame given to us. So like, they don't say how long has passed. It's just there. And then Land blacks out, but then he wakes up after everything's over, so...
Yeah, he wouldn't... I don't think he'd black out from that. It's still a lot. It's a lot, but it's not as much as you...
The events are clearly being dramatized here.
Yeah. The way I would describe how they treat the radiation is the amounts are a lot, but they are very disproportional to the physical effects that they have on the characters.
Right. And
like, they are not enough to cause that.
Yeah, it's like, and while they are literally surrounded by computer servers that are just shooting off electricity from the looks of things, again, everything's clearly exaggerated, because earlier we saw their computer servers literally growing up out of the floor because the radiation was so high. Pieces of the internet and the real world are being fused together, and that's how Sean, Lord Gospel, was able to prevent damage until then, because his suit, the cyber suit, was composed of cyber matter that melds the real and cyber worlds together and is magnetically shielded. So after the Supernavi was destroyed, it's gone, and then the facade disappears, and now he's completely unshielded just in the middle of all that. So Lan's got his cyber suit, or his mag suit, which can take up to the 50k, like up to it, that's his threshold. That's what Mega Man keeps saying. Sean is completely unshielded. But
yeah,
we can say the breakdown for when we actually...
I've got numbers, like the suit Lan is in will help. I can't really do the numbers on how much that would help, just because, like, even though we can say, okay, it shields to, like, 100 or 50k, it's just, there's just so many factors that are missing that would make that really difficult to determine how much that's helping. So we could just say that it's helping, and
yeah,
we'll get to it when we get to it.
The only point of comparison we're given, like, we have 3 different types of magnetic shielding being used here. The first one is Lan's friends. When they show up in the building, they said that they are using what's called magware from Netopia, and just based on the description, and given that there's no new special sprites, it looks like it's just average clothes that are slightly radioactive proof. But
I mean, there's truth to that. So, hilariously, alpha radiation, which is extremely dangerous, I should point out, if it gets into your system, is bad, because that's when, like, an alpha particle is bouncing around, which is basically a rogue helium atom, is just wreaking havoc in you. But hilariously, alpha particles deflect really easily. The outer layer, the dead outer layer of your skin is actually enough to deal with those. So, like, if you're wearing a shirt, you are super proof to alpha radiation.
But once he gets inside you, then you have a problem.
Yeah, no, if you're exposed to a lot of alpha radiation and it starts penetrating through just because it's so high energy, that's bad. That's very bad.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, that... At a surface level, that makes sense, because I don't know anything about radiation in general, so
Right. I have a lot of radiation knowledge, too.
Yes, and that's why I brought you on here, yeah. But I was going to say, the comparison points we have here, the magware that Yai talks about, it protected her and Melu, but Dex spent the most time, working on the servers trying to disable them to open the elevator. He actually does at least get some fatigue from it, like we see him like drop over. And he's not unconscious, but he's clearly winded. So, that was before it capped out at the 50k we're told about. This is just at 30k. That's the number we were given right before this.
Oh, I need to do the number for 30k then. Because I've got the 50k number, I forgot to do the 30k one. It's not a hard math thing to do, I just need to actually do it, so...
And of course, we got the guy immediately outside the building who literally can't walk straight because of all the radiation. He's not even in the building, he's outside. But of course, he's probably a resident of the town, so who knows how long he's been exposed to it. And we also don't have a time frame for how long Lan's friends were here, but they just showed up before him, so that's all we know.
That's 9 millisieverts. He needs to stop being a big baby.
So, well, I mean, he is a kid. He is 11.
30,000. For the dose tolerances for annual exposure are actually a lot higher than I thought they would be. But they're, like... So to give you a reason why I'm calling him a baby, for reference, the annual exposure limit for, like, a therapist to either your eyes or really your whole body is, like, 50 millisieverts a year. That's how much you can safely take.
Right, so what is the... let's assume that they were in the building for... Let's also give them 20 minutes before Lan showed up, and then they vacate. How long was Dex exposed? Like, how much is he taking?
For 30k, for the 9 millisieverts is per an hour, so a third of that, so 3.
And
that's unacceptable for the public exposure for a prolonged period of time, for sure. Like, if you were in a hospital and you were just like, oh, you know, the hallways are just kind of casually getting 3 millisieverts, you know, that would be bad even if it was annually. Like, no. But yeah, for an incidental exposure, even total body like that, 9 millisieverts isn't really, or 3 even, that's not really that bad.
So I guess...
it wouldn't make you fall over. For sure.
So I'm guessing that Yai got totally gypped on this magware then, because she's bragging about, yeah, we got the fancy clothes that repel radiation, and Dex is over there keeling over after just that short bout. So
yeah. So the thing that really threw me for how little it was is like, so the value for annual radiation. So I looked it up for 2 different numbers. So it's regional, kind of. So for Japan, which Electopia is,
yes,
I assume?
Yes.
Or where are they? They're in Electopia, right?
Yes, Electopia is meant to be the stand-in proxy for Japan. Depending on which form of media it is, sometimes they will just flat out call it Japan. World maps confirm it is basically Japan. It's the in-universe proxy for Japan, so yes.
So Japan is 2.2 millisieverts annually for background radiation, and for the whole world, averaged every region together is 3. So he's getting the annual dose of background radiation all at once, which isn't great. Like, because like radiation damage or radiation received is cumulative, so like that would be a thing he would need to fill out. Like, hey, if I'm getting radiation treatment at any point in my life, I need to remind my doctor that, hey, there was this one time I got exposed to 30,000 times the background dose over 20 minutes. And that was like my annual dose for a whole year.
Okay, so it only wears off after like 365 days worth. Okay, I'll keep that in mind in case I'm ever in that scenario. I pray I never am. I pray I never need like radiation or chemotherapy, but that's good to know. Thank you. That's important.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't wear off. It
never wears
only
off.
receive so much. Yeah, you can only receive so much radiation in your body because there's some cells in your body that they're very radio resistant, but they don't reproduce, like your nerves and your
midichlorians,
your muscle cells. Your organs they reproduce. Like the cells that in your body that do not divide and can be damaged by radiation, cannot be repaired. If they take too much, that's when you start getting a problem because there's no way to fix them. But they are very, very radio resistant because they don't divide.
Duly noted. Okay, so it's not a yearly thing. It's none for the rest of your life.
Cumulative forever.
So yeah, it's like a hard cap time limit of how long you can be exposed to that amount of radiation, and that chops off that much. So okay.
Yes. So yeah, so he'd have to take that into consideration if he ever received any more treatment, and so would Lan. Honest, all of them would need to take that into consideration. Lan the most, because Lan's on Lan and Sean here are on some different levels of radiation exposure for sure.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that either of them still have hair after this. Okay, I actually didn't even really think about how I wanted to structure like the intro to this, other than just the question of what's he in for, realistically speaking. Again, I was only going to reference the LP archive if they actually were either completely off base or if they were completely on base. But
they're not that far off. Like I said, their numbers are high for the radiation exposure. Like even going by the 3 millisieverts background radiation for the whole world instead of Japan's 2.2. 3 puts them closer. 3 would be like at 50,000 it'd be 17, which is, you know, that's not that far off of 20, which is not like millisieverts are 0.001 gray, so those convert directly.
Right. So the question that we have here is so I don't know what the server output started at, and if we don't know if the radiation increases exponentially or linearly, but at 150% we have 100k times normal, so what's 600% power? If it's linear, then it's something like 5 times that, so easy, 500 times radiation level. So 2 full sieverts per hour is what it's saying. On ballast, that's extremely likely to kill you, especially if you're a child. If it doesn't kill you, you'll need a bone marrow transplant. On the other hand, if it increases exponentially, then Lan no longer needs to worry about that homework that we put off at the beginning of the game. So what determines whether radiation accumulates linearly or exponentially? This is electromagnetic radiation we're talking about, so...
For that, I would say It's probably linearly, because if it's just... So the way you treat with electron beams is, and honestly with photons too, they both do this, you use different energies that to pierce deeper, or depending on, like, it depends on what you're treating, but you can use different energies. So you'll use like 4 MeV, 15, or 6 to MeV, 15 MeV to treat for different doses, but it's just linear, I believe. It would just be linearly. But I think he's being vague on that in the thing just because there's just, how do you translate server power to what's actually happening to the radiation dose thing? But I would assume linearly.
Right. And that also does fall in line with just the numbers we were given at the different points in the thing, because Mega Man's also being extremely vague, because when you reach the door right before the Super Navi is complete, Lang gets a small zap, and he says the radiation on the door is at 50,000 times normal. So you go destroy the radiation program, you open the door, then when Super Navi is activated the second time, server power 100%, and then he says it's going over 50,000, your mag suit won't protect you from anything higher, and it just keeps going up and up and up after that. But based on the number of where we see the server power increasing, and then compared to Mega Man's assessment of the radiation levels, it does seem to be linear progression. But so if these are the numbers we're given, then the highest number we're given is 600% power, so it could have gone higher than that, but we're not given any higher figures. So the number that we end up with in the end is 600% server power with potential of 550,000 times the normal radiation levels. So that's our baseline of where we start with our math, I suppose. And I don't think that the fight with Gospel probably took more than 5 minutes total.
I mean, if you're good, it takes like 2.
Oh yeah, but trying to be a little generous here.
Charitable to the 10-year-olds playing Mega Man Battle Network.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so
at least you can hit Gospel most of the time, unlike Alpha or Duo or Nebula Gray or...
Yeah, with the case of Gospel...
Literally all the ones following them.
Hey, with Gospel, just pull up with some Invises and 5 Zeus Hammers, see how long that fight lasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Zeus Hammer supremacy. But, yeah. On the subject of final bosses, that's actually the next, the 5K special video I'm working on is top 5 favorite boss battles throughout the entire series, and Duo made my list, and Nebula Gray made his. Even though I really like Duo as a final boss. But,
I like his design, I don't like his fight.
The fight is challenging, that's why I like it. Another thing I like about it is that I like that he's actually sentient. He actually talks to you. And thematically, there's a lot of similarities between all the other bosses. It's like, oh, like Virus, Gospel, and Gregar, they're all just super powerful viruses. Alpha is just this ambiguous rogue AI from way back when. Same with Falzar. Nebula Gray is like this soulless, dark matter thing that wants to just corrupt the entire internet. Duo is like, I got beef with your planet. I got beef with your planet. I'm just gonna blow you up because you're evil. So, it's like, I like the presentation behind Duo more than anything. It's memorable, the background is great, and, like, I love the Meteor Computer and the music behind it. It just, I got a soft spot for Battle 4.
The Meteor Computer music is very good. Yeah. I do enjoy that a lot. The music in Mega Man Battle Network is never a bad sign.
Oh, yeah.
It's always pretty, except the park theme. I'll never forgive that.
You're talking about the Toy Robo computer?
Yes. Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Sorry.
I'm not doing this interview anymore.
Sorry.
Figure it out yourself.
No! But
yeah.
Okay.
I'll just let you get started. I can pause and redo the recording. You can have just all this as B-roll if you like, and then I can just have it clip.
Yeah, I think that all we've discussed so far is good and relevant, and I can find a way to work it in. Looking at my timer right here, we've been going for 20 minutes already, but most of that has been relevant conversation, but it's kind of getting set up for what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna try to ad-lib the intro. I might repeat myself a couple times. That's just me trying to get a good take out of it, and then if all else fails, I'll write up intro to use off screen. I'll type it up and then I'll record that and use that as the intro for the video itself. It just depends on how things go. But all right. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give my intro. I'm gonna say what we're doing here today, and then I'm gonna introduce you. Like I'll just say, and this is my friend Sam. You said you are a radiology student, or is like
radiation therapy. I'm learning to. I'm getting. You can just say, ask me to describe my qualities for answering this question.
All right. Okay. So I'll say.
I can introduce it.
All right. I'll give my intro, and I'll say, and today we're going to answer the question of how screwed is Lan and Sean after the events of the radiation wave at Gospel HQ. And today I brought my friend Sam to help us get an idea of how things would actually go in real life. You know, something akin to that. That's what we do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, are we ready?
I am ready. I have all my numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Let's chill. You can take Milo out to Castillo and get that ice cream later. You know, all's well.
Yeah.
Well.
Castillo.
Yeah.
It's a much more direct threat. The robot with the axe. Who gave an animatronic an axe that was sharp enough to cut a person in half? Like, why did you do that?
Battle Network is the first Five Nights at Freddy's confirmed.
Oh no!
Hey, there's a wolf there. There's a wolf.
Oh god, there is. What is it? A wolf, a monkey, a vampire?
Yeah. Yeah.
And a princess with an axe.
And
no!
The robot, Tin Man. Yeah.
Right. Oh no. Oh yeah, it's just Wizard of Oz, isn't it? But like not.
Basically, yeah.
A vampire. Yeah. Oh no! I can't believe William Afton was Professor Regal the whole time. Oh no, wait, that doesn't work. He got re-educated in 5. He got his soul overwritten, right?
Yeah,
I'm glad we can rewrite people's entire personalities and erase their memories with simple voice commands to a server.
Yeah, just shoot an electromagnetic pulse into your brain, to the memory center specifically, and just overwrite your entire past 10 years of your life. It's like
maybe SoulNet is why people in the Mega Man Battle Network series never think to just bring a gun.
You notice they don't actually do that till Battle Network 6. Like, it's like 2 or 3 times they're like, "You're just a kid, you can't stop us." But every other time in the series, Lan and Sean are like, "Stop!" And they're like, "Okay, I guess I'm caught."
Okay, I guess I'll net battle you.
Right.
Yeah, no, maybe they just use SoulNet to quell the
gun
violent
violence
impulses. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean,
that technology is clearly there.
You know what? That's actually a very dystopian theory right there.
That's worse, actually. Hold on. A different theory. Did Tadashi Hikari completely fundamentally alter human nature? More at 11.
Yeah. Don't give me ideas. Don't give me ideas to go looking at that.
He had the opportunity. I mean, SoulNet clearly worked.
Yeah.
It worked so well that he decided, no, actually, I don't think this is a good idea. Maybe he did. Maybe he broke it up because he didn't want anybody to go back and fix humanity to like be to what it was before he removed like violent impulses or whatever. I don't know. That's a different theory.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we'll let our kids solve this one. You know, surely, Dr. Wily, both yours and my offspring will be upstanding societal citizens, and they'll do this for the betterment of all mankind.
Yeah, they shake hands, and then like years later, Dr. Wily just goes completely insane with grief.
Yeah. Then of course, you know, and then
his best friends.
SoulNet eventually went on to become Link Power, basically.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I guess it does. I never really connected those two.
Yeah, because like the entire thing behind Link Power is that, you know, your bond with your friends is enough to give you extra power to the point where you can literally pull a housing module from a space station back into orbit. And Lan was at the activation of the completed Soul server, and Lan's the one who started developing Link Power, so it was him. Like, Lan completed SoulNet, but in a different way.
I guess so, yeah. That's kind of... I never thought about that, about how those two link together. But yeah, no. Oh, that gives Lan the keys to humanity as a whole again.
It does.
Like Tadashi had. Oh no. Lan. No, Lan.
It's because of...
Star Force is the series where people do resort to physical violence.
It's also a thing of when Link Power became a thing, that's when Kelvin Stellar decided, hey, I'm gonna go make friends with aliens because Link Power, and then that's when the aliens are like, destroy Earth.
Again.
Dang it, Lan.
why do all aliens we keep meeting want to destroy Earth? It's happened twice now. That's not a lot.
If I had a nickel for every time that happened.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
So to bring us back around and close out the narration real quick. Excuse me.
Right. We cut this weird tangent about SoulNet out if you want to.
Yeah, that whole little stretch about the Five Nights at Freddy's and the William Afton that.
No.
I'm gonna chop that out and edit. That was just for fun.
Yeah.